Hello, I am Teacher Cam and I am here today to speak on feedbacks. So I just finished teaching my classes and I just finished all my feedbacks. And I remember feedbacks being the one thing that I struggled with. And so after watching a few videos on YouTube and a few training videos in the VIPKID portal, I finally got a handle on it and can do them quickly now. So as far as the outline of feedbacks, it should go intro, what was learned, strengths, improvements, and closure. Now, sounds like a lot, but it's not really. So as far as the intro is, we'll use the name Daisy. Daisy was great in class today. It was an honor teaching Daisy. Daisy was a great student. It was so nice to meet Daisy. Any of those phrases. Not all of them, but you can choose any one or two of those statements. As far as what was learned, quick overview. A lot of the times there is like new vocabulary and then maybe some action words or things like that, and so you can put general overview. Daisy learned new colors: pink, blue, purple, yellow, and we learned how to dance. That's it. So you don't want to make this a super long paragraph. You want to make it to the point and quick enough to read, to be interested in reading. If you see a long paragraph, anyway, reading in English, people don't feel like reading that much, and so when you're reading in English and it's transferred into Mandarin, it gets a little tricky too. So you definitely want to keep it to the point. Strengths. Daisy did a great job speaking loudly, speaking clearly. She did a great job paying attention, completing activities in class, things of that nature. Improvements. Daisy had a hard time saying goodbye. Please work on saying goodbye. Daisy had a hard time saying the alphabet. It would be a good thing to work on saying the alphabet between classes. And I'm just giving out information. You wouldn't necessarily word it like how I'm saying, but just to give you like a couple sentences that will go into each category. And then closure. Closure, it was a great teaching Daisy. I hope I can teach her again. Daisy was a pleasure in my classroom. I hope to continue learning or teaching Daisy in future classes. And then you can take it a next step further. I hope that I can continue teaching Daisy greetings and counting. So you want to tell the parent that not only are we going to work on things on the slide, but I also want to introduce her to these other topics as well. And so that is how you do a feedback. Intro, what was learned, strengths, improvements, and closure. Now, how do you get all this in when you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 back-to-back classes? Well, one of the techniques that I use two. So during class, I have a piece of paper with the child's name and the time of the class. And so it's just a scrap piece of paper like this. And during class, I have my pen, I have this paper. Anything that was wow, I write it down. Oh, she did a good job with greetings. Well, we were supposed to work on greetings and this, and she knocked it out of the park, you know. Write that down. Or if they had a really hard time, if they were struggling with something, behavior, saying words, or, you know, doing an action, I would write that down. And so I would do this for each student. Now, between classes, I would then either write down, because depending on how long that class went, you either have about 4, 3, 2, less than 5 minutes. You have a couple minutes to get it in before your next class. And so I take that time to either write down any other notes that I need, what we did at the end, if we counted our rewards. One little girl, because today in particular I had these rewards, well, we counted them with one little girl. Another little girl, we set the colors. We didn't count them. We did the colors. And so I would write that down in between, and anything else I could remember. And I don't remember what was actually taught. I don't need to remember that, because I could go back and look at the slides and things like that. But anything that was out of the ordinary, like the student did something like extra, like amazing, or, you know, was struggling with, I would write it down. And if I don't have time to necessarily write it down, that's when the phone comes in handy. And so you turn on to any kind of notes or audio recorder, and you just speak into it. And you could do this speak to text, or just audio record it and listen to yourself later. I have the speech to text, and that's what I do when I don't have enough time to write it down. And so that is how I do it. And so when I'm done with all my classes, that's when I go back and I start doing the feedbacks. I start with the last one first, so that I don't have to make any notes. I make the notes, whatever notes I need during the class, and then since that's the last one I did, I just go ahead and type it out. Now, I know some people that actually talk their or type it out or whatever really fast between classes. I don't do that. I actually take the time out to type it up. And here's one step that you do not have to do, but I feel more comfortable doing it. I type it up, I go into Google Translate, I translate it from English to Chinese, and then I open up another Google Translate and I translate it from Chinese to English. And so what that does is, when I take the English and transfer it in Chinese, when I take the Chinese to transfer it back into English, I get an idea of what they're reading. And so if it doesn't sound right, because it's that language and our language do not quite translate how you would think. And so, and that's why I do that, because I see when they leave a feedback in Chinese, Mandarin, and it translates to English, sometimes it gets super confusing and it's like, what are they trying to say? And so I just wanted to be more clear of what I'm trying to say. So my feedbacks take a little bit more time because I do all that, but I save my paragraphs that I write to students, so I already kind of know what translates and what doesn't, and so it's getting faster, but it does still take that extra bit of time to translate it over. And so that is how I do my feedbacks. And so if you have any other questions as far as how to do feedbacks, you can comment them below and I can answer them for you, or you can continue to watch other videos on YouTube as well and get and I encourage that because it's a wealth of knowledge out there. People do things differently and you always want to get all the bits and pieces so that you can create your own style, or pick the one that fits you better, or it's everybody does something different, and so you just want to do what works for you. So I hope to see you again, and I hope you found this video informative. And I shall see you in the classroom.